Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And today, we finally did it, everyone.
We did it.
Everyone's been asking for us to try the Surfside green tea, and we got it. We requested it. Our local liquor store guy, who is, shout out to him, he's the best. He also loves these. Every time we check out with any type of like hard tea or whatever, he's like, oh, those are my favorite. So we told him about these, and he said, oh, I'm going to order them the second I see them available just for you guys. And we went in today and they had them.
Here we are.
Perfect timing, because just last week Denise bought us some beers and said, please try the green tea Surfsides. So here we are. So let's take a sip and give it a ranking. Oh, that's so good.
So this is the green tea and lemonade and vodka.
Yeah, there's one that's just green tea, I think.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. There's quite a few, like there's a mango green tea. So this is like a whole green tea pack. I really like how not sweet this is.
It's not sweet, and like the green tea is like earthier.
Yeah.
And I feel like it even cuts the sweetness even more. So like the little bit of lemonade is like perfect.
Yeah, like I barely taste the lemonade.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to try is the mango. So we'll see if the actual flavored ones taste different. We'll give you an update along the episode.
We will.
But thank you, Denise, and our multiple cool kids who have messaged us and commented and said that we need to try these. You were right. They're delicious.
We did need to try them.
Can I say something? Is this a safe place?
Is it controversial?
No, I think it's more, I mean, I guess it could be considered controversial depending on who you are and what you're about.
Well, okay, if you say it to me, it's a safe place. I don't know if everyone else feels that way.
It's more of an admission. It's not like an opinion. It's like an admission.
Okay, what'd you do?
I've never had matcha. I don't even know if I've had a matcha flavored thing.
Okay, I have. I had a matcha.
Sorry, these are so good. I can't stop drinking.
They are really good.
Danger. I'm in the danger zone right now.
The only time I've ever had matcha was in a cocktail at Tom Tom in West Hollywood.
Okay.
And it was this was the greatest cocktail I've ever had in my life.
Okay, lay it on me. What was it?
It was just like a matcha, like creamy situation. It kind of almost tasted like the grasshopper drink that we had.
Oh, like peppermint?
No, not like that.
Oh, okay.
But like creamy in that fashion.
Okay.
But how do you describe matcha?
I've heard it described as earthy. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm going to say something else. I don't really know what matcha is. I know it's a tea, but it's like made with like a powder.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is it like a little grassy tasting maybe?
I've heard it described as, okay, matcha, this is from Wikipedia. Hello, Wikipedia, I love you. Matcha is a finely ground powder of green tea, specifically processed from shade-grown tea leaves. Shade growing gives matcha its characteristically bright green color and strong umami flavor.
Oh.
Matcha is typically consumed suspended in hot water.
Okay, so it kind of is
might like this
green tea. I think you would.
I wonder how much caffeine it has in it.
This cocktail, you guys, was so fucking good. I don't know how to describe it. It just tasted really good. But I've never had a regular matcha.
Yeah.
Like, all the bitches love matcha.
I know, and that's why I was embarrassed to admit.
I've never had a regular matcha, but I have had a matcha like macaron.
Yeah, so it's
and those
pretty popular. Yeah, see, I've never even had like a matcha flavored thing. Like I'm reading on the Wikipedia right now. It's typically used in foods such as mochi, soba noodles, green tea ice cream, matcha lattes, and a variety of Japanese confectionaries.
Oh, I lied. I have had a matcha latte.
Oh, that's what matcha is.
Okay, then I've had a matcha.
Yes.
I've had matcha in various forms.
I was going to say, that changed real fast. This is reminding me of a conversation we had yesterday with someone that you guys will see soon on
Things Are Getting
Weird, where they were like, I love this thing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, me too. This is, and they were like, oh, no, sorry, I hate it. I don't know why I said I loved it.
That was so fucking
You
funny.
guys are going to love that episode. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys are going to love that episode. It's going to be out in the next probably month or so.
That guest is my new obsession.
Yeah, that was
for the
really
record,
fun.
because they're amazing.
But yeah, that's what it just reminded me of.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I did. I lied.
You did.
I
You're like,
honeypotted
ABL,
you.
always be lying.
I honeypotted you.
You did honeypot
Yeah.
me. And I was like, wow, you really were like, this is a safe space.
Yeah,
It's
I was like, I've also never had matcha.
It's so safe. In fact, we're in this together.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I feel so seen. I feel so heard.
Keep telling me how much you've never had this really popular thing.
Yeah, that everybody loves.
Because I've also never had it. And I was like, just kidding. I've had it in multiple forms.
I'm a green tea girl. Like when I go to a coffee shop, even when I was able to drink coffee, I still would like 50-50 get a hot green tea, or if it was hot outside, an iced green tea.
Can I say something controversial, actually?
Always drop it on me.
I hate
hot
tea.
Wow.
I pretend to like it.
Why do you pretend to like it? Who's making you like it? Big T?
Yeah. Sometimes I just feel like if I say I hate hot tea, people are like, what? Like, everyone loves tea.
I think that's fine. I don't really like hot drinks in general, so I will typically always go iced even with tea. But every once in a while, I'm like a warm drink sounds good.
Tea, like hot tea, just tastes like dirty water. Or like
maybe you just haven't found a tea you like.
I mean, like I've had tea, like if I'm sick and I'm like, okay, I need tea, right?
Yeah,
so
like it's medicinal at that point.
Yeah, so I'll have it then. But it just, to me, I'm like, unless I am pumping that bitch with honey, which is bees puke, as we know.
Actually, we'll circle back to that, but yes.
Then, it doesn't taste good.
I love hot tea. Actually, one of my favorite cocktails, like the second I get a chill in the air, me.
A hot toddy?
I want a hot toddy immediately.
I knew a girl in high school named Toddy, and everyone called her Hot Toddy because she was pretty hot. And
good for her.
But I didn't like her, so that I think maybe I just didn't like the drink then.
Oh, so it ruined it for you?
Yeah, because I thought she was kind of a bitch.
Well, Toddy.
Hope you don't listen to this.
Well, hot to trotty, Toddy, huh? Just name drop it.
You know what? I just don't care anymore.
I mean, here's the thing. If you saw this person in person and they came up to you and were like, oh my gosh, Amanda.
I wouldn't even recognize them. I can't even tell you what she looked like.
Hot.
Yeah, apparently.
She's like, it's me, Hot Toddy. Would you be like, oh, ugh? Or would you be like, oh my gosh, Toddy.
I would be like, oh yeah, everyone in high school called you Hot Toddy.
Goodbye.
Bye. See you later.
See you never.
Okay, in the beginning of this year, you guys, if you recall, I made a New Year's resolution, and it was to become worse.
That was our New Year's resolution. What was mine?
To eat more beans?
No, that was mine for 2 years ago, and I did achieve that.
I think you did it again, though.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you got lazy, and you said that's my other resolution for this year.
No, I believe I said I just wanted to keep that one going, and girl, have I. I've been eating beans like it's my job.
Yeah, you love to eat beans.
Love beans. If I'm not having a meal, if there's no beans on my plate, I'm like, where am I?
Right.
What am I doing?
So at least that's a goal or a resolution that has just continued to roll over.
Yeah, I would say that's a resolution that I achieved and I continue to achieve.
No, I think that's good.
Which I think is really impressive because most people don't continue to achieve their resolutions.
It's true.
Yeah.
But like me, back to you. I think I have become worse.
Good for you.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that's I remember this conversation from last year, probably right around the same time.
Because I just realized that, like, who cares? Like, I care still, but I'm trying to not care. And I think I've cared less.
Yeah.
Like, it's still there, but it's going down.
I get it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll this over into next year.
Yeah, this is your rollover.
Yeah, this is my rollover.
Okay,
so just
I think
keep
that's fair.
Becoming worse.
Worse and worse
keep
and worse.
Not giving a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, good for you.
Anyway, what were we even talking about?
I was talking about how I've never had matcha.
Yes.
And how I really liked, I actually am a big tea drinker. I like tea quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we need to get some matcha inside of you because I think you'll like it.
I do think that I would like it. Yeah. I think, and they do it iced, right?
They do it, like I said, in various forms.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream, lattes.
I feel like I would like a matcha ice cream.
Macaroons, macarons, however you say it. Mochi,
I like mochi.
Cocktails.
I love cocktails and I love mochi.
Yeah, so there you go.
And I love ice cream and I love tea. So this is all really looking good for me.
Yeah.
Like a huge world just opened up before my eyes.
I think you're going to be a fucking
Matcha girl.
Matcha lover.
I just got to figure out if it has a lot of caffeine in it or not.
I think you're going to have your license plate on your car say matcha lover.
Matcha man.
I'm gonna be a matcha man.
I was trying to think of a better word than man.
Manda.
Matcha Manda. See, that's good.
But I don't really like matcha that much. I mean, I do.
It seems like you really do
I
like
don't
it,
know,
actually.
you guys. I'm confusing myself.
Seems like everything you said about it that you really liked, actually.
What do I like and what do I not like?
Well,
I don't know.
I saw this girl on TikTok the other day that was drinking like a strawberry matcha latte. Like that looked really good.
You could do a strawberry matcha?
That's what she was drinking, and it was like really cute.
Okay. You know what? You and I are going to have to go to some fucking cute ass coffee shop.
Cute little coffee shop.
I know the one that I want to go to. They have matcha.
Ooh, which one?
It's called Coffee Dose.
Where's that at?
It's in Costa Mesa. Actually,
you're making me go far for
yeah,
this?
we have to go because I've never been and I always want to go. And your stepsister goes all the time.
How? She doesn't live here.
She comes here all the time and goes.
Oh, okay.
I literally see her stories all the time. I'm like,
sorry,
I
always forget that you're a story watcher because I was like, I don't ever. Why would I? I haven't seen this, but I don't watch stories.
I am a
really.
story stalker.
Yeah,
that's how I find out all of my information where people are.
I have to be really bored to watch stories.
Oh no, there's been too many times where I have watched a story within 2 seconds of someone posting it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I've actually done that before too, and then I'll be like, wow, this is embarrassing because I never watch stories, but I'm like the first person to watch this story.
Sometimes if I like am friendly enough with the person, I'll DM them and be like, ooh, I'm definitely the first person to watch this.
Sorry, I literally just watched this so fast.
I'm like, I know you just literally pressed send on that and I watched it, but here I am. You're welcome.
I have like 5 people's stories that I watch. Like if it pops up, I'm like, yes, because they always post like funny memes or like really informative political stuff. And then obviously like I always check yours and I always check the Drinking the Kool-Aid one.
You better.
Then, honestly, my other like close friend and like Liz always posts them, who's another like one of my besties. But like my other like close friends don't really post stories that often. Like Kate and Connie both don't post on their stories.
No.
And so anytime they have something in their story, it's usually because I tagged them in something.
Yeah. You know what I also just realized?
What?
You know the close friends, like Instagram?
I love my close friends. I post on there all the time.
When have I ever posted on close friends?
Never.
I don't post on close friends. Actually, the only time I ever did it, no, I didn't even do it. I just deleted you from seeing the stories during your
my bachelorette party. Yeah,
but that I didn't even do that on close friends. Like I have never posted to close friends.
I have. I love posting on close friends.
Oh my God, I need to start doing that.
It's so shady. Why don't you like to do it? I feel like it's right up your alley.
I don't know.
It's mostly just because I have like people who have employed me or like, you know, like my 90-year-old grandma. And I'm like, oh, you don't need to see me post this meme. It's usually like a meme or I'm somewhere and like I lied to somebody about somewhere I wouldn't be. I was like, can't do that. I'm like so sick, but actually I'm at brunch, you know?
Right.
But I also have so many people blocked from my stories.
See, maybe that's what I do. I'm like, if there's like 1 or 2 people that I don't want to see something, I just block them from viewing my story.
One time I was like, it's so weird. I used to get like 800 views on my story every time I post a story. And I was like, why is it only like 300 or 400 now? It's so weird.
Because you blocked.
And then I literally
people?
opened my people who are blocked from viewing your story list. And I was scrolling for like 45 seconds. I was like, oh, that's why. And then I was like, I'm not going to unblock any of these people.
And that's what the close friends is for. So none of those people that you don't want to see your stories.
Yeah, but I have like 40 people on my close friends. Like that's it.
I don't have any.
So if you're on my close friends, if you've seen a close friends, because some people like randomly just got in, where I was like, you know what? Yeah, they can see it too.
Dude, the way that I find myself on so many people's close friends lists, and I'm like, why did you put me on there?
Oh, I'm on people's close friends list where I have met them once.
Same.
And I'm like, I always feel honored. I'm like, thank you. I won't screenshot this. I'm a little secret keeper for you today.
Oh, see, I'm like, maybe you should take me off here.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't have Amanda on your close friends.
Because maybe I'm going to tell somebody.
I most likely, actually, that's a great way to get me to watch a story.
put you on the close friends.
If I see that green circle, even if it's someone I never watched their story, I'm going in.
You gotta.
I'm diving in.
Because if they took the time to put you there, you have to take the time to watch their story.
And I just want to know, like, is it a crash out? Are you posting? Sometimes people post risque stuff on there.
Yeah,
I want to see it. Are you posting something about how much you hate like one of your family members? Like, I need to know the tea.
No, absolutely.
So like, if you honestly, like if you want me to watch your stories, if you want me to be involved in your Instagram, just put me on your close friends. I'm not gonna leak. Amanda will leak.
Yeah, but I'll only leak to you.
Yeah, it's true. She would just tell me probably.
So it doesn't really matter.
But she is a whistleblower.
That's
the preferred term, is whistleblower.
Because I have to tell somebody.
Yeah.
I can't keep things to myself. Someone has to know. So whether it's my husband or you or someone else, someone needs to know. Who cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
Not me.
It's fine, guys. It's fine. Know what I discovered this week on Instagram Reels?
What?
There's people who fake having an office job so that they can like make content about having an office job.
What?
Like they rent an office, like, you know, in like a shared workspace or something. And they're like, a day in the life of my 9-to-5 job or whatever, right? And then they like do an aesthetic video of them like packing their bag, and then they're like, show up at the office at 9:03, and then they're like opening their, you know, the video of them opening their computer and like tippity typing, and then like, oh, now it's 10:15, first cup of coffee of the day at the office, and like first snack of the day, I'm having a Bavita, sponsored by Bavita. And they are lying. They don't have jobs.
How did you figure this out? Well, they do have a job. It's being a content creator.
Yes, and it's pretending to have a job.
Listen, you always say you want to scam more.
No, I'm not hating the player or the game. I just was astounded when I found this out.
I'm just thinking like maybe these are things that we can start incorporating into our lives to scam.
I'm just going to get like a fake set in my house that makes it look like an office.
No,
that'd be so
you don't
funny.
even have to do that. You can become a mommy blogger.
And I'll say I'm an ethical mommy blogger, so I don't show the kid.
Exactly.
And I'll be like, here's what my 3-year-old ate today. And I like show the little plate
and you're
that
packing
I make them.
And
really that's just how I eat.
Exactly. And
I'm
then
like 4 cups of cottage cheese.
And then you just put like your voiceover in the background of you being like, Mommy, where's my food?
Yeah, I'll be like, right there, kid.
Yeah. I think this is a really good idea.
Yeah, I think I could do this.
You could become like the most influential ethical mommy blogger in all of TikTok.
And then I'll break it. I'll leak.
You'll leak that you don't actually have a kid.
To the New York Times and say I'll do it anonymous, and I'll say, just so you know, famous mommy blogger. I would have to have a fake name. What would my name
famous
be?
Mommy blogger
Carissa Landon
is actually
Cassidy Liston, and she doesn't even have a kid. And then it'll be crazy because then they'll be like, show me the birth records. And I'll be like, guys, I can't believe you're asking this of me. Yeah. Like, this is crazy.
And then they'll find out about the podcast.
Yeah. And then they'll hear this particular episode and they'll be like, oh no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'll be disgraced mommy blogger, Cassidy Liston.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a kid.
Well, Cassidy Liston never had a kid. Clarissa had a kid.
Yeah. Well, and Clarissa.
What is her name? Clarissa explains it all.
Clarissa Landon, I believe is what I said. Or Carissa. I can't remember now because you're in my head. Like, sorry. Yeah. And then that'll be my new arc. I'll have like a villain origin story.
Yeah.
And then I will capitalize off of that to just go live all the time and be like, I'll tell you more about it if you give me a flower. Where's my galaxy at?
There you go.
Because that's what disgraced former content creators do.
Yeah, but then they make a lot of money doing those lives.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think I could see this
all
trajectory for
part
me.
of the scam.
I could pay for the wedding.
Oh my God. We better get on this. Clarissa, where are you? Clock in.
Get Clarissa on the horn. Who, me? Hi, it's mommy blogger Clarissa Landon.
And you don't even have to show your face either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know
just
you
be like
can
my
wear?
hands and stuff.
No, it could be your hands, and then like you're wearing like a 1950s style housewife dress with an apron and like your titties out a little bit.
No titties out. Clarissa.
No, her titties are not out, but like you have cleavage.
No, Clarissa's a. If anything, she's adjacent to a trad wife.
I feel like that's trad wifey.
No, they're all about being conservative and being.
They don't ever have cleavage.
The ones who do don't get the audience I'm looking for.
Okay, all right, okay. You are right.
You know what I say? If I'm going to scam people, I want it to be rich people.
I'm being a bad manager.
You are.
You are right.
You're just thinking of me as a pair of tits again. Wow. Shocking.
It wasn't me. It was Amber Guggenheimer.
My Clarissa's agent. Clarissa, baby. And
I'm smoking a cigarette.
You're smoking a cigarette. You're also.
I mean, hey, I'm in Cheetah. This feels a little.
I was going to say, no, you're a 57-year-old man from New York. Clarissa, baby, you guys are showing those bazongas. The men will go crazy for him. Right now, all you got is like women age 15 to 35. Mm-hmm. We got to get that male demographic.
That's right. I think you're actually the agent too.
That I just create a whole cinematic. It's like the Marvels. It's the Clarissa Landon cinematic universe, and I play every character.
Yeah.
And then I have like a deadbeat husband who made me become a mommy blogger because he doesn't want to go back to work full time.
Right.
Because babe, you know the only way I'm going to get a job after my assault charge is working at the factory with my dad, and I can't work with him, babe. I can't work with him.
That's exactly him.
Babe.
What's his name?
Maybe Guggenheimer's right. Maybe you should show some tits. His name? Brock Landon.
I knew it was going to be Brock. It's always a Brock.
Always Brock.
Wow. I think this could work. And like, listen, I'm technically your agent because I did come up with this idea. So you do owe me like 10%.
Yeah, of course. Any kickbacks.
Yeah.
So let me know if any brands want to sponsor this deception.
I just think this is the scam of the century.
Yeah, I think we're really onto something here.
Yeah.
And see, it all came from me learning that the 9 to 5 people are faking it.
Exactly.
Well, it just made me sad. There's this lady that I watch that I love her videos, and she goes she does like what I eat in a day as like during my 8 to 5 or whatever.
Like in the office, yeah.
In the office. And it's just like, I don't know, everything she eats always looks really good. And then I was like, what if she doesn't have a job and I'm being tricked?
Yeah, but how does that take away from what she's eating?
I don't know. It just feels like I got tricked. I don't like being tricked. I like to be the tricker, not the tricky.
Yeah, but I think it's fine though, because she's still showing you everything she's eating in a day and it looks really good to you. So whether she's actually in the office or not.
Well, at that point, who knows if she's even eating it?
You're right.
They be spitting stuff out.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you.
So there you go, guys.
That you heard it here.
You heard it here first. Oh my gosh.
What?
Sorry, you look like you have notes. Do you have stuff you want to talk about?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing. I have
Thank God.
nothing in my life to live for.
Thank God. Okay, thank God. I got reminded of this yesterday because we briefly talked about dinosaurs, and I was thinking about have you heard of Barbara the dinosaur?
No.
So she's this dinosaur fossil that was uncovered. I can't let me.
She's a fossil. She's not even living.
Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking Barbara the dinosaur. Maybe they found something like some tiny little creature that they were calling a dinosaur, and she's really cute.
No, she's a skeleton. She's a T-Rex. So she was like super, super well preserved when they found her. And I think they only found her, in 2022. And oh my gosh, turn off my ad blocker. What is this?
Oh my God.
Soviet Russia?
Why are you blocking ads?
I love to block ads.
Well, you should.
I know. It makes me feel good. Okay, so here she is. Here's Barbara. She was pregnant when she died.
Oh my, what?
Yeah.
You're trying to make me cry?
One of only 3 pregnant T-Rex specimens ever discovered. But that's not...
Where are her little skeleton babies?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we're not talking about because she's pregnant. That's not what makes me want to talk about. See, look at all these ads now. They're everywhere. It's ruining my whole experience.
Block them.
It's ruining my whole experience on I fucking love science. No, I don't want you to send me notifications. ifuckinglovescience.com. Blocked. Okay. So the reason that she is so unique is she has bones that are shown to have been broken and that healed and recovered. Which means, and this is the part that is going to make you want to cry, which means that there was a group of other dinosaurs that had to have taken care of her while she was recovering from her like broken leg. Because normally, like animals in the wild, if they like break their leg or whatever, they just die because they can't hunt, they can't provide for themselves, they can't protect themselves. And so this means she must have injured herself and other animals were bringing her food and taking care of her while she healed because it was remarkably healed, which means Barbara the dinosaur had dinosaur friends that loved her enough to make sure she healed properly after she broke her leg. I told you it was going to make you cry. She's crying.
I just, wow. Even Barbara the dinosaur can have some good friends in this world.
Isn't that cute? And so what this means for like the research into, dinosaurs and like how they behaved, like behaviorals of dinosaurs, because obviously that's not something we can like watch or, whatever, and study, is that they might have been more communal than we thought. Instead of just like mindless killing machines, like they took care of each other and loved each other.
Well, yeah, they're a community.
Well, we didn't know that.
How do we get them to come back? How do we get dinosaurs again?
Oh boy. I think I've seen this movie before and I didn't like the ending.
No, I don't want them to be made in a lab. I want real dinosaurs to just like pop back up on Earth.
Time machine.
Or alternate dimensions.
Alternate dimensions, maybe.
Yeah. Sure,
why not? A place where the big meteorite never hit.
Wouldn't it be crazy to like live in a world with dinosaurs?
It would be really scary.
Well, what if they're only in like an island, like Jurassic Park or whatever?
Yeah, once again, you're just describing Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I'm saying, what if that was real? What if we were just living in that? But humans don't go to that island, so it's like it's not really that scary.
You wouldn't go to the island?
Hell no. But it would be really cool to see a live stream.
Ooh, like a little drone action, maybe? Okay.
Like I would like to watch that, but I'm not going to go see them myself.
Yeah.
Because once again, we've seen this before.
No, that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. I would go. I go to the island.
Of course you would. And then you know exactly what would happen.
Men die, women inherit the earth.
Or you end up like fucking Tarzan and the dinosaurs take you in as their child.
I could see that happening. I think that they would understand that I have a gentle nature.
Yeah.
And that I support them.
Like you speak dinosaur.
Yeah, I could probably learn. I could learn a word or two at least.
Yeah.
Sure. Exactly. Just like that.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'd be talking to that way, but some of them.
I would say that the first one was something that swims in the ocean. Because it sounds like a dolphin.
A little dolphin-esque.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like they were doing a lot of clicking back then, apparently.
They were.
Yeah, a lot of clicking, a lot of...
Mm-hmm. That's something that flies.
I had to literally clench my butt to make that noise. It was crazy. I was in a full like move.
No, yeah. I think you would thrive on the island. Me, not so much.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that could be the island that we send people to that we don't like. Remember when I'm like, send them to the island?
Yeah, but
that could be the island.
What if the dinosaurs are like, we don't want them on the island?
Well, the dinosaurs would just eat them.
Oh, yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
That's a good point. It's for their snack.
Listen, if you live, good for you, whatever. But you have to like live in constant fear and like on the island. But like you did something bad enough that I'm sending you to the island. Yeah. So I don't really think that you deserve my sympathy.
No, I think that's fair. All right, guys, who's gonna make Jurassic Park?
Who's gonna sponsor my island? Ooh, that's pleasant. The mango one.
All right, so far we're loving these surf sides.
Listen, our cool kids know us. They know what we like. Speaking of, let's welcome some of our new cool kids to our Patreon.
Let's do it.
So welcome to our new patrons, our new cool kids. We are so happy to have you guys. I wanted to say welcome to Juelia V.
Juelia, hello.
I know. I was like, I've never seen that name before.
I like it.
Welcome to Ashley.
Ashley. So nice you had to name her twice.
Uh-huh. Welcome to Jaybird.
Hi, Jaybird.
Welcome to Erica F.
Hello, Erica.
And welcome to Jessica G.
Hello, Jessica G.
Thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. We are so excited to have you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that funny Hear Me Out cake video that we have on there for our video level subscribers. We're going to have a shot of Kool-Aid coming out next week. And just lots of fun stuff. We also have ad-free content on there from our regular episodes. And we have lots of really fun video stuff and bonus stuff planned for the new year.
Yes,
this is our little slower time of the season just because, holidays and all of that. But don't worry, when you join, you get access to all of the backlog, and there are hundreds of hours of stuff on there for you to explore. We also have like book recommendations from me, horror movie recommendations. We had a book club, so if you're thinking about reading Sunrise on the Reaping, you can go follow along with our book club because it's all on there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon. We just totally dig you, and we couldn't do this without you.
There's actually, because there's so much good content I feel like that we made when we first started.
That's so old.
And it's so old, but it's so good. So I hope people go back and like watch those videos that we made or hear those episodes because there's so many good ones. Like I was even thinking for the holidays and stuff, we did a Christmas one. We did a Krampus video.
Yes, yeah.
We did one a couple years ago where I covered like the Santa Claus robberies. That was a really fun one. So like go listen to those episodes.
You guys get to see vintage Cassidy and Amanda.
Yeah.
We were a lot skinnier.
All the different hair colors.
Oh, so many different hair colors.
So go back and watch those. They're really fun.
Yeah. Somebody was commenting recently on our Scott Peterson documentary watch.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that was I think our first documentary watch. And we put it behind a paywall because we were nervous. Yeah.
And now we do that with every true crime documentary.
And you guys love it. But yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully you're enjoying all of that content. And like we said, you can gift and ask to be gift a Patreon subscription for the whole year. And if you do it before January starts, there is a discount. You get 2 months free if you subscribe for the whole year. So check that out. So I also wanted to say thank you to Liz, who bought us some beers and said, "Hi, ladies, just stopping by with some Christmas cheer or to help you ring in the new year. I usually listen to your podcast on YouTube at work. I love all the giggles and really enjoy seeing the Fresno Nightcrawlers that I sent you so many videos. Oh, Liz, you're the one that we made, the ones that you crocheted for us.
Yes,
we literally love them, and we show them to everybody who comes to record in our studio. We're like, "Hi, do you want to see our honorary Fresno Nightcrawlers?" We literally love those.
Yeah, they're
Liz,
so cute.
Thank you so much.
They're sitting right over there.
They're right there. Don't worry. They'll be back after we're done with our holiday setup. We've been in that mode. Yeah. But thank you so much, Liz, and cheers. Thank you for the beers, and we're so glad that we can help you get through the workday. Hopefully you're actually at work and you're not just pretending to be on the computer.
And if you are pretending, good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Well, on that note.
No, hold on.
What? Oh, do you have a birthday?
I have a birthday.
Oh, okay.
Hold your dang horses, lady. I do have a very special birthday request from Cecilia. It is Cecilia's sister, Emma, their 21st birthday.
Emma.
And Emma has actually been listening for years. They're the one that sent us those press-on nails a couple years ago.
Those were so cool.
Yeah, and they have their own little business called Pressed by M on Instagram. I think it's pressedby.m. You should check them out. Their nails are amazing.
The nails that they sent us, I wonder if I can get a picture of them because I've worn them, obviously, so they're not in their cute little thing anymore. But I'm sure we have a picture of when they first came. We'll probably post them on Instagram if we can find it.
And they have a bunch of
super talented artists.
Super, super cute nails all over their Instagram page. So thank you so much for being a listener for so long. Happy 21st birthday.
We're glad we could be here for you through all of that.
Yes.
Some of the most complicated times of personhood is from like 16 to 21, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, go and have one of these green tea fucking
Yes, if you like to drink.
This is not sponsored, by the way. We just like these things.
Yeah, we're not getting paid by them at all.
Actually, Denise bought these for us.
That's true. Yes. But yes, happy birthday, Em. And thank you, Cecilia, for asking us to shout out your sister.
Yes. Have a wonderful 21st birthday. So on that note, let's get started. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
How were the ads? They were also read by us, so hopefully they soothed your brain.
Hopefully. Before you start your story.
Oh, okay.
I just want everyone to know.
Yes.
So nobody panics. We are taking next week off.
Yes. And so if things look a little different over the next 2 weeks, just because the actual holidays land on our release days, and Amanda and I are both traveling. So if maybe episodes don't come out on the exact day they normally do, don't worry. Things are happening. There will be some missed episodes, but also like if an episode that normally comes out on Monday comes out on a Tuesday, just be happy to be around.
Exactly.
Because we're trying our hardest. We're both traveling and we have family in town and it's a whole thing.
But the regular episode for sure will not be out.
On Christmas.
Yes.
Will not be out. We are skipping that week for our mental sanity.
And the holidays.
And the holiday season.
And traveling.
Yeah, we're actually both going to be traveling the exact same days.
Yes. Well,
isn't that cute?
I did plan that a little.
Well, that's what I thought when you told me what days you were going to go. We were going to be like 2 days off or whatever. And then when you said, oh, I'm just going to be gone the same days, I'm like, that's perfect.
That's why I asked you when you were leaving. And I was like, we're just going to do the exact same days. So it's just easier for everybody.
Way easier. Yeah. But yeah, so nobody panic. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine.
We're all gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be fine.
And we will be back the following week.
Yes. We love you.
Just had to let you know.
We love you. And as a special treat, I'm going to be covering one of my most requested cases ever since the moment we started this podcast we have talked about, but we have never actually covered. I'm going to be talking about the details of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
This is crazy. This is a big one.
Yeah. I was like, I can't find a story. What's something that gets requested of me a lot? And then I was like, you know what? Here we go.
Well, I'm so glad we are titillating you guys with 2 true crime tales today.
You're doing true crime too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
we always do this.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah. So my sources today were several different articles and like timelines on BBC News because obviously the family is British. Well, yes, they're British from England. And so they covered it quite extensively. FindMadeline.com. A 60 Minutes Australia piece that I thought was really well done. PBS News articles and Wikipedia.
Okay. Wow. When you said you were doing a big one, I don't know why this is not what I expect.
You didn't think that it would be this big?
No.
Yeah. Well, Madeleine McCann. I don't know why I keep saying McCain. Madeleine McCann was on vacation with her family, her mother, Kate, her father, Jerry, and her twin siblings, who were only 2 years old. And they were in Portugal in May of 2007.
How old was she?
She was actually just a few days from turning 4, but she was 3, technically.
Okay.
So her birthday was May 12th, and this is like May 3rd.
Okay.
So the vacation was actually a couple families going on vacation all together. They were in an area of Portugal known as Little Britain because so many British tourists went there. It was like very much like a hotspot for them. And because so many British tourists were there, like people felt really comfortable. They would run into the same people year after year. Like it felt like a little,
like a little
community.
Vacation.
But yeah, so they were with a group of 9 adults and 8 kids because the other couples all had kids for the most part too. And they were all staying in this resort that was kind of more built like a village than like a hotel.
Okay.
So it had streets and apartments, and some people owned like condos kind of in there and were retired there or had owned vacation homes there. And then some people would just rent it out like a hotel. Like it just depended.
Okay.
And I would say it was kind of built like a village is the best word I can think of.
I feel like I can picture it.
Yeah. It's kind of, when you think of like it was not an all-inclusive resort, but when you think of that, how they kind of have everything you need, like they have little shops and they have a bunch of different restaurants like in there and the pool's right there. And like they had like sliding glass doors.
Like you don't need to
go.
You don't really need to go out of the resort.
Exactly. And they have like tennis lessons and swim school and like all this different stuff. The specific apartment that the McCanns were staying at was from like a British lady who owned it. And they rented it out through a British vacation company. And inside this little area, like I said, they had like really skinny streets that you would like walk up and down. So you could get to like a corner store or a restaurant or whatever and like barely leave your vicinity. The holiday was a week long that they were taking. And, they had kind of had like a flow going at this point. When you're like on vacation, you figure out like when you're at a resort, like what restaurants you like, what activities you like, what you want to do. And they kind of like have fallen into a routine. And on May 3rd, this was the second to last night of the trip. And the family followed their daily routine. They had breakfast together. The kids went to the kids' day program while the adults hung out and had some alone time. Then they picked the kids up and they all had lunch in their apartment unit. And then they headed out to the pool with the kids for a few hours, took some photos, just having fun. The kids are splashing and playing in the pool. And then the kids go back to the kids program for the afternoon. The dad goes to like a tennis lesson and the mom goes and hangs out with some of her other friends. And then around 6 p.m., they pick the kids up. They have dinner with the kids or feed the kids dinner in the apartment and then put the kids to sleep.
Okay.
So the kids eat, like I said, and it's like an apartment. So there's 2 separate bedrooms. There's like a living room and there's a whole kitchen. So they all, feed the kids, put the kids to bed, wait till the kids are asleep. The 3 kids shared one room. They had like a toddler bed, like a small bed. And then also they had a crib for the 2-year-old twins.
Okay. Very close in age.
Yes. The twins, I think, had like just turned 2 and Madeleine was about to turn 4. So they were only like a year and a half apart.
That's just a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So the kids, like I said, shared a room. The parents had their own room. The parents are hanging out. They know the kids are knocked out. And right on schedule with their routine, the parents go and grab some wine and tapas with the other adults at a restaurant that was only 180 feet from the unit.
Okay. They put the kids to sleep.
Yes, the kids are asleep in their crib and Madeleine's in her bed. There's a restaurant. It's a tapas place that is only 180 feet from their unit.
Okay.
You can see their sliding glass door, like the entrance to their unit from the tapas restaurant.
Okay. I'm trying to like picture it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, it's basically like going into the backyard of somebody's courtyard house and the kids are asleep upstairs.
Got
right?
it.
And you're like, okay, I can see their window, so I can see if the kid turns the light on, like whatever. And like I said earlier, they had a whole system set up. So every about 25 to 30 minutes, the husband and wives would switch off on going and checking on their kids and then coming back. And all of them were doing that because, like I said, there's 8 kids. So they were going back and forth. So first watch, they get there about 8:30. First watch goes to Jerry, who goes and pokes his head in at about 9 p.m. All the kids are still asleep. He does notice that the kid's bedroom door is wide open, which he thinks is weird because he remembers distinctly when they left that he like left it just a crack open. Okay. So it was weird that it opened, but he was like, I don't know, maybe when I opened the sliding glass door, the rush of air pushed it open, whatever. He doesn't really think that much of it.
See, okay. When I say this, I'm not saying it in like a shaming way. I'm just saying like for me, had I seen that and thought to myself, that's weird, I would have went and did a little.
He didn't think of it as, oh, that's weird very, very much because, it's hindsight, right? For what's about to happen, he's going, yeah, I did notice that the door was open. I just didn't think anything of it because,
Yeah.
And like, who knows? Madeleine could have gotten up and poked her little head out and left the door a little peeked and went back to bed. Or she could have gone to the bathroom and went. She's 4. Like,
yeah.
4 is like big enough to do things.
I just think if I'm going to go peek into the apartment to see if all the kids are good, I'm going to literally look to see them in their beds.
He did.
And he saw her.
He saw, yes.
Oh, okay.
The twins are asleep. Madeleine's asleep.
Sorry, I thought you just meant he looked in and saw the door.
No, the door is wide open. If anything, it's pure view, right?
Okay, got it.
So yeah, he does like, and once again, like this is the statement he gave of thinking it was weird after what's about to happen that we all know is about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those things you don't really think about it. Like how often do I walk in and I go, I swear I closed that door.
That's what makes these stories so hard because
hindsight's 2020.
Hindsight is 2020, and when I'm hearing it, I'm like, okay, what would I have done? But then I can say that now, but like I don't know what I actually would have done.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I remember cracking it, but you're not really thinking about it. You're like, did my wife go and give one last check-in before we left? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And or, did Madeleine get up and go pee and then go back to bed?
Right.
Who knows? But a lot of people give them guff for being like not being in there. And based on like the layout of everything that I've seen, this would be equivalent to like your kids are asleep upstairs and you're in the backyard having like wine and food with your friends.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying that they can see
the sliding glass doors from the restaurant.
Yeah, then I'm assuming maybe they're sitting outside. It's vacation time.
Yeah, no, they actually reserved the exact same table for all 5 nights for that very reason.
Yeah, so then I don't think it's a big deal.
Because their friends were staying all right next door to them. So they're all right there.
If they're taking turns going to check in on the kids every like 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're being responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the families who had like the youngest kid, I think who was like a actual like baby, like 9 months or whatever, even had a baby monitor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they were not, people were acting like, oh, they went out and like just like left their kids
like they
alone.
went partying or whatever.
And that's the narrative I always heard. So I was like really shocked to actually find out that it was 180 feet from the unit. Like you can be 180 feet away from your kid and be in the same house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So
that's what I'm thinking. Like, how often do people put their kids to sleep and then like go outside on their porch?
Yes, go in the backyard by the pool. And so they had like given the kids like because they had a hard time sleeping on vacation, like an over-the-counter like drowsy medication that like makes kids fall asleep, whatever.
Okay.
You know, like a Benadryl type thing.
Yeah.
So they're sleeping through the night. And also, you know, your kids. But like I said, they're going back every 25 to 30 minutes. I feel like that is more than sufficient.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
So yeah, Jerry goes to pop his head in the door, notices the door, doesn't really think that much of it at the time. Obviously, looking back, he thought that was strange and mentioned it to police when he was interviewed. And then the next check was supposed to be Kate. So Kate is like getting up to do her next check. And Matthew, who's one of their friends, is about to go check on his kids who they're literally in the apartment next door. And he says, I'm about to go pop my head in on the kids. Like, you're having a good conversation with my wife. You guys keep talking. I'll just pop my head in for both kids, right?
Okay.
Kill two birds with one stone here. And Kate's like, awesome. Thank you. Matthew goes, pops his head in, doesn't hear any crying, no fussing, all good. And then he goes, pops his head into the room with his kids. All is quiet on the Western Front, reports that back. Everything's cool. So another about 25, 30 minutes goes by. It's around 10 p.m. And Kate is like, okay, since I didn't have to do my last one, Jerry, you stay here. You're chatting now. I'll go pop my head in. And when she approaches the sliding glass doors, she can already see into the apartment that the door to the kids' room is wide open.
Okay. But it had been already.
She did not. I mean, Jerry thought so little of that detail.
He didn't even
mention it to her that he mentioned it in his police report.
Okay.
So she's going, I thought we closed it when we left. She's having the exact same thought that he had when he first saw the door open.
Okay.
So she thinks it's strange, but she thinks, well, maybe Matthew had opened it and left it open when he checked in. Who knows? So she goes into the apartment, doesn't hear any fussing, but she does go to close the door again. And the second she touches it, the crosswind from her having the sliding glass door open slams the door shut.
Okay.
And she's like, that doesn't make any sense because
if the wind opened it.
Because the window in the kid's bedroom isn't open. I know for a fact it's closed.
Okay.
But when she opens the door to the kid's bedroom, she sees that the window to the kid's bedroom is wide open, including the shutters.
Okay.
The twins are peacefully sleeping in their crib, but Madeleine is gone. So, of course, at first she's like, okay, I need to try and not just freak the fuck out. So she starts checking the house, right? She's like, I'm gonna hope that she's just in the bathroom. She went into our bed because she was scared and fell asleep back in there. So she checks the whole apartment, not in there. And about 2 minutes later, runs back out to the tapas restaurant where her friends are all seated and says, Madeleine is gone. Someone took her.
Okay.
So
I might be PMSing too much for this right now. So
the whole group obviously gets up and starts to search the entire area. They're checking the pool. They're checking the street the little street that everyone's on, whatever. And Matthew actually goes to the resort reception desk and is like, you need to call the police. There's a little kid missing. So the search continues with the help of the resort staff and police until about 4 or 5 a.m., like when the sun starts to come up. And that's when the police determine that they don't think that she is on the premises.
In the whole resort?
Like they were like checking the pool. Like it's not just she wandered off and now she's somewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like they're at this point, they're going, something happened to her. It's not just
someone took her.
She woke up and opened the window and was like, oh, wait, let's go look and find mom and dad. Because if she was just wandering around, they would have found her.
Yeah.
So they put obviously Madeleine's picture out to police everywhere in Portugal, as well as to all the border agents and airport security, just to make sure she doesn't get taken out of the country somehow.
Oh my God.
And all of the adults are interviewed by police, and the parents do a press conference pretty much immediately asking if anyone has their daughter, please return her. Like no questions asked, like just bring her back to us.
What? Like how fucking scary.
Yeah. And like while you're in a foreign country too.
Oh my God. No, that's makes it 20 times worse than it already is.
And you still have your other two twins to worry about. So this is when the police get their first statement that confuses them. One of the women who is part of the group, her name was Jane Tanner. She had been up checking on her kid, and she told police that she not only walked past Jerry coming back from checking on his kids, but also saw a man in a dark coat walking holding a small child. But then when they interviewed Jerry, they asked if he had seen anyone walking back from his first check, and he said yes, but the only person he had seen was another British dude who he chatted with like very briefly, but neither Jerry nor that man remembered seeing Jane at all. So they just thought that that was weird. Like they're like, it's a really, really small, narrow path. If like you guys would have seen, like they would have seen you, Jane. And so because of this, police just kind of were like, okay, we think that that sighting was either she was confused about the timing or she like made it up.
Okay.
But there was another sighting of a man carrying a child around 10 p.m. around 500 yards from the McCann's apartment. And this was by the Smith family who were visiting the resort from Ireland. So they were not connected to the friend group. They described a man in his mid-30s, about 5'7" to 5'9", a slim to normal build, with short brown hair, wearing cream or beige colored trousers. They said he did not look like a tourist because he was wearing a really heavy coat. And obviously in the UK, like it's really, really cold there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they come to Portugal, even if it's chilly, they just wear like a light jacket or like a light cardigan, where the people who live there, when it's cold outside or at night, they'll wear something thicker because they're just not as accustomed to the cold weather.
Okay.
So they were like, that's what made them say he didn't look like a tourist, because most tourists wouldn't pack a bulky wool jacket like in their luggage, right? And they also claimed that he seemed uncomfortable carrying the child. Like the way he was carrying the child was like somebody who didn't know how to carry a kid. So this is the sighting that police have decided, not right away, but like at this point, obviously looking back, they think that this is the most important timeline because it points to the kidnap happening just minutes, if not seconds, before the 10 p.m. check-in from Kate.
Which would make sense because if the wind slammed the door shut right as Kate went in there, like it would have slammed it shut had she been gone for that much longer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like it must have just fucking happened.
Just happened. And that's
oh my God.
Yeah. That's like the timeline that specifically that the like Scotland Yard came up with. So on May 15th, the police interviewed their first suspect, like their first official suspect. And his name is Robert Murat. He's a 34-year-old British-Portuguese property consultant who lived with his mother in his mother's unit. I'm assuming his mother is like retired there and he like went to go live with her because his life was kind of not going so hot. And their unit was only 150 yards from the McCann's apartment. He fit the physical description of the Smith sighting. So he's in his 30s. He's about the right height, had the right hair color, all that stuff. So these are not the only reasons he was suspected, though. The reason that they actually brought him in is because he had volunteered to police to be a translator because he knew both English, because he's from the UK originally. He knew both English and Portuguese.
Okay.
So he had offered to be a translator for the case. And
for the case.
Yes, for the case. And said he just wanted to help because he had a kid around Madeleine's age in England. And if anything ever happened to her, he would hope somebody would help, which like, great, beautiful. But we also do know that like people who do bad things sometimes try to insert themselves into cases.
Yes, I was going to say that.
And also a local reporter like called the police and was like, hey, I have this guy who keeps calling and asking like really, really specific questions about the case, like trying to get up like sneaky updates. And I think it's weird. And so all of these things combined made him a suspect.
Yeah. That is weird.
Yeah. So they bring him in, they interview him, his house is searched, his electronics were seized, his garden was searched with dogs and with like radar detecting things, like to see if there's anything buried in there. And basically his whole life was turned upside down, but there was never a single link or piece of evidence found that linked him to Madeleine.
You know what's kind of weird to me? Like, we hear that a lot in cases where it's like there was no evidence linked to this person doing this, but it's like, what if there just isn't? Like, what if he literally was just like decided out of the blue, I'm just gonna open this window and steal this kid.
No, I know, but there's like no evidence. There was no blood anywhere. There was like no physical evidence that he had a kid in his house. His mom was like, he was at home with me all night. So there's just nothing linking him to them. There's nothing. But besides the fact that he's a little weird, but also like whatever, maybe he's just a little weird and got really interested in this case because I think he had like and this is just me kind of speculating a little bit. I think he was having a hard custody situation with his daughter. And so I think that might have just made him a little weird about the situation.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing was ever found. They actually interviewed his friends and family. Like I said, they seized all of his things. There's nothing.
Before we go on,
yes.
Do you have an opinion on who did this?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll get there at the end because it's kind of breaking actually, which is why I wanted to cover this case now.
Okay.
So despite all of this, he was obviously maligned by the media. People to this day still believe that he did it. And even one of his friend's cars, who his friend was interviewed by the police and was like, no, he's never been violent. He's never talked about little girls or little kids. Like he's never done anything weird. His friend's car was actually set on fire and graffitied with the word speak on the side of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Because people just thought that his friends and his mom were covering for him. Because
yeah.
Who else could have done it? Because what do we always think? They always just find some person and they accuse them.
Yeah. And they just like keep that narrative going.
And that happens multiple times in this case.
Okay.
So as time goes on, there are no updates. And like, it's like a month and nothing's really going on. And the press and the public are both getting really antsy. Because what do you mean?
Can you imagine being on vacation in another country and then you have to leave?
Well, so they rent a house
okay,
and rent a car and they stay in Portugal.
Okay.
And they actually say, like, we're not going to leave without Madeleine. One way or another, we're not leaving, right?
That makes sense.
And so as everyone's getting kind of antsy about getting updates on this case and there's really nothing new coming out, this leads to some questions by the press where they starting to implicate the family themselves. So on June 28th, that's the first time that this happens, they get a question that said, quote, "Did you two have something to do with your daughter's disappearance?" And immediately they're like, absolutely not, no. But people didn't like the way they responded to it. They thought they're not reacting as the way they should. Their press conferences seem forced. Nobody's crying enough. These people don't seem sad. They seem nervous and suspicious.
Maybe they're nervous because they're trying to find their daughter.
Yes, as we've seen time and time again happen in cases like this. And it's really disappointing. And I'll talk more about this at the end.
And also, that just doesn't even make sense because there was multiple other couples going in, checking on the kids. When the fuck would they have had time to do that?
The amount of even to this day, I'll talk about this at the end.
No,
I know, because I know exactly how you're feeling because this is how I felt because I've heard so many things about this case. I've never done a deep dive on it, obviously. And so there's so much that I learned that I was like, wow, this is like actually crazy. Like this part that I'm about to tell you. So obviously this snowballed into more and more skeptical eyes on the family and eventually led to tabloids just straight up lying. They said like they were giving their kids drugs to sedate them because they were swingers and that they were all just like trying to sedate their kids and knock their kids out. So they probably OD'd Madeleine and then had to get rid of her body. And that's why their friend was like making up stories for them and all this stuff, right? But then it turns out like when there was actual investigation into the way that the inconsistencies into some of these stories, the problems tended to be poor translation. So a lot of the statements were taken in English, translated into Portuguese, and then translated back into English to be sent to the press. And as we all know, you can do it on fucking Google Translate. When you translate even the same phrase over and over again, if you translate it into Spanish and then back into English, it will not be the same as the original statement.
Yeah.
So a lot of the inconsistencies and the issues with the statements were because not only were there investigators from the UK that spoke English and then interacting with people in Portugal that only spoke Portuguese, a lot of the issues were just proper translation.
Yeah.
Or improper translation. And then things got even worse when they brought in cadaver dogs from the UK in July. And the dogs alerted on Madeleine's stuffed cat toy that she slept with in the apartment, both behind the couch and in the parents' bedroom, and in the car that the family had rented. But they hadn't rented that car until 24 days after the disappearance.
Okay.
So people were like, oh, there's the proof. There was cadaver dog identification on these items in these areas. But let's all remember, first of all, cadaver dogs are just like any other tool. They're not infallible. They make mistakes, but also it's a rental. Who knows what else has, or other things or accidents or anything that could have happened in this rental property. The car is also a rental.
And it's like, what if they had something of Madeleine's or something Madeleine touched in the car at some point?
Well, it was a cadaver dog, so it was like alerting to the scent of death, right?
Oh.
So people were like, clearly they killed their daughter. They covered it up and tried to pretend like it was kidnapping. And then they somehow hid her body somewhere for 24 days and then put her in the trunk of the car and then got rid of her. It just doesn't make any sense, right?
No.
But because of these things, people clung onto that and they were like, they killed their daughter. And that became the narrative for years and years and years. And with this, the Portuguese police got a warrant to search the McCann's new rental house. They seized a bunch of their belongings. There was like a Bible with like a highlighted verse about having your child die. And people were like, that's more proof. But it turned out that the Bible was a gift from a friend that she had given to her after her child went missing. So it was like about grieving and like probably trying to comfort her. And the police just like run with this. And allegedly, according to Kate, they told Kate that if she would just admit to accidentally killing her daughter, they would only give her 2 years in prison and they would let her husband off and let him go home with the twins. So, and then when she was done with the 2 years, she could go back to the UK. Obviously, she's like, that's not what happened. I'm not going to admit to this. But on September 7th, they were both deemed official suspects in the case, and their lawyer told them to not talk to anybody. Because they were only suspects and they were not officially like indicted or like in being under investigation, they're just like suspects in general. The McCanns were allowed to leave Portugal, and their lawyers told them you need to leave immediately so you don't end up in Portuguese jail and your twins go who knows where. And so despite having to leave without Madeleine, which is the last thing they wanted to do, they went back to England on September the 9th, 2007. The pictures of them boarding the plane and getting off the plane in England are so heartbreaking. They just look so devastated. Like yeah. And at this point, the Portuguese police release a statement that basically says Madeleine died in the apartment as a result of some sort of accident and was disposed of by her parents.
Wow.
And at this point, like people are like, yeah, that's what happened. These evil fuckers and like their lives are over, right? Looking back at it, it's like so clear that this was a resort town and like a big part of their income was tourism. And so they were clearly trying to be like, see, there's no crime here. Come have, as long as you're not going to overdose your kid and get rid of them, you're safe here at this resort. Like that's kind of what the vibe I was getting.
Okay.
But a lot of people, a lot of people, and I clearly do not agree with this, still think that the parents did it based on all of those tabloid stories of like them being swingers, them giving their kids sedatives.
Also, what would be the motive?
Oh, you should see people in the comments of these articles on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever. They're like, they clearly just couldn't handle having 3 kids. These were wealthy people. Like they had money.
They literally vacationed in Portugal every year with the same group of people.
I don't know if they went to Portugal every year, but I'm saying, but like they had money.
Yeah.
And they were going on a like 7-day vacation in a foreign country and bringing their kids and like, I don't know. And to me, people are like, how were they not at least charged with neglect for leaving their kids in that room? I'm sorry.
Then all the other parents that left their kids should also be charged.
And to me, I'm going, they could see the sliding glass doors, which were the entrance to the place. And they were cycling through. Everybody was checking other kids that feels responsible to me.
Yeah.
That feels like a responsible way to enjoy your holiday.
Yeah. If it's close enough that you can not only see, but just walk right over and like go and check on the kids and it takes 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
They said it was less than a 2-minute walk to get from where they were seated to the doors. And so they left the back doors unlocked, which they did say. And so some people are like, oh my God, they had eyes on the back doors. And they did that so that their friends could peek their little head in and be like, okay, nobody's fussing. I hear snoring. Okay, all good.
I agree with you. I don't think and I just don't understand, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Why would they disappear their own daughter in front of a whole group of people. Like none of this makes sense.
That was the first thing that the dad said, like in one of the interviews where they were like, well, did you do something, whatever? He's like, absolutely not. And like the first question would be why? What motive would we ever have to want to hurt our daughter or to get rid of our daughter? And if we're like, let's say you guys, I mean, he didn't say this, but in my head, I'm going, let's say, yes, they were giving them Benadryl tablets or whatever to go to sleep. And she was not, they're both doctors. Don't you think they would just call 911 and be like, no, like try to get help?
Like if she was overdosing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since this case has been, basically they called it closed in Portugal, it has been reopened. It's been closed again. It's been reopened by multiple law enforcement agencies and investigators from various countries all over Europe. Since then, there have also been multiple people coming forward claiming to be Madeleine. There are people who are confessing who had never even been to Portugal. You know, it's like the same thing with the John Benet Ramsey case. Like there's always just all the weirdos come out of the woodwork.
I remember a couple of years ago when it was like there was like this big thing where people were like, this girl is Madeleine McCann.
Yeah, so Madeleine had very, very specific eyes. So she had I think it's called heterochromia. It's where one eye was green, one eye was blue. She had different colored eyes. And on one of her eyes she had this like drop down little like almost teardrop of brown.
Okay.
So it was like very specific.
Yeah.
And it's a very rare condition that like gives you that. She had it since she was a baby. They actually this year they had someone do a DNA test because they thought that they were Madeleine McCann. The parents did not think that. This person thought that. And then they actually had to end up suing her. They just testified like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I was like, this is like back in the news for two different reasons. They had to sue her because she was stalking them, trying to be like, mommy, like showed up to their house and went up to Kate and was like, mommy. And it's like this Polish girl who is about the proper age or whatever. And
is she the one that was like in the news like a couple of years ago?
There's been so many.
Yeah.
She is not the first one. And also, once again, if you search Madeleine McCann on TikTok, there's multiple people who think, what if I don't have any memories from before I was 4 years old and my family was in Portugal. Like, you know, people just like to insert themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go into June of 2020 because there was like on and off again, like people reopening the case, whatever. But like the first big like break is in June of 2020. And a lot of podcasts who have covered this case covered it before 2020 because it was such a big case.
Yeah. And it's like one of the biggest true crime cases.
Yeah. So
ever.
like, because I was like looking, I always like to like look to see just to make sure, because sometimes people accuse us of like stealing people's stories or whatever.
Yes.
And so sometimes when I'm about to cover like a really big case, I'm like trying to make sure that there's no like big other podcast that's like similar to us that also just covered it, so it doesn't look like I'm being like, oh, that's such a good idea.
But also this case is just huge.
Yeah.
And every single podcast has covered
but
it.
All of the other big podcasts that I saw, like True Crime Garage and Crime Junkie and like whatever, they all covered this like back in like 2018, 2020 tops, right? And so I was like, okay, this is like new information. So this is, even if you have heard this on other podcasts, this should be like the next couple things I'm about to say should be like kind of new information. So in June of 2020, the German authorities come forward and they say that they have a suspect that they are investigating for the murder and assault of Madeleine McCann.
The murder and assault.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's this guy. His name is Christian Bruckner. He was already in jail for the rape of a woman in her 70s at the Ocean Club Resort, which is where they were staying.
Okay.
And the German authorities say that he was literally in Portugal trying to avoid a charge for child sex abuse material and assault of a child. And they were like trying to piece all of this together, right? And he was literally right by the resort. He lived less than 5 miles away from the resort in Portugal when Madeleine went missing. And people reported that he had a weird disgusting sex shack less than 2 miles from the resort.
Okay.
Yeah. And not long after Madeleine went missing, he actually fled Portugal and went back to Germany, which is where he was already wanted. So like, hello. So why would you go back to the place where you wanted unless you did something even worse?
Right.
And so he ends up getting arrested in, I think it was like 2016, because he showed a video. He was at a bar and he showed a video of himself raping the woman in her 70s at that resort. And he allegedly also told this guy at the bar, oh yeah, and I also snatched a little girl through a window and used her like a toy.
Oh my God.
So of course this guy at the bar is a normal person. So he goes directly to the police and says, hello, knock, knock, knock. This fucking guy just showed me a video of him raping a 75-year-old woman. And they arrest him, obviously, and he has the fucking video on his phone. So he gets convicted of that. But they ask him, well, what about this little girl that you say you snatched in Portugal? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. And all they have is like his word against his word. Yeah. And also he never said Madeleine's name. So like, whatever.
Yeah.
So they get him for what they can. He was in prison. They gave him it's like an 8 or 9 year sentence for the rape of this woman.
That's it.
Girl, if he was in America, he would have gotten fucking time served. You already know that. So they immediately are like, okay, this guy is clearly like depraved. He's like a horrible human being. And I will say, I very, very, very rarely say this. This is somebody who should not be on the earth anymore, in my personal opinion. So they start investigating this guy. They find tons of child sex abuse material on his property. They find chat reports of him talking in a chat room specifically for rapists and pedophiles, where he talks about how he wants to steal a little girl under the age of 6 specifically and do explicit things with her. I'm not going to repeat what I read because it made my eyes want to fall out of my fucking head.
I mean, my ears want to fall out of my fucking head right now.
Yeah. And it all very much described basically his dream was exactly Madeleine. He is also considered a person of interest in the disappearance of 2 other children under the age of 10, one of which disappeared in Portugal again. Literally, him and his parents were walking to the beach and he turned a corner. And when they turned the corner, the kid was gone. But his clothes were left there. And then another little girl who went missing in Germany in the 90s, he is also the lead suspect of. They also found tons of little kids' swimsuits at his house, like all sorts of like crazy. Like this guy is like scum of the earth, like ultimate, like the nightmare that you think of, like when you're a parent. Like this is that guy, right? Like
it makes me just want to ask that guy at the bar and be like, are you 100% positive you heard him say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you are 100% positive, then I believe you. And he's the one that did it. You know what I mean?
And apparently he has had cellmates that also claim that he has bragged about stealing a little girl in Portugal, but he has never named Madeleine to any of them. And he vehemently has denied any of these accusations anytime he has been interviewed, obviously by police. But because of this, they opened a brand new investigation, the German authorities did. And basically they were like, we are fighting against the clock because he's going to get out in 2025.
Oh my God.
So they start excavating all over the area that he was living at the time. And also where he was living in Germany. He like lived in a van and he had like an area that he stayed in, I guess.
I don't want to get into this because I could talk about it forever. But like the fact that like they saw the video. They know he raped this woman. They saw it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be giving him life. You saw it with your own fucking eyes that he did this.
Yeah, that's not the punishment for rape is not life.
Oh my God.
Okay. And I was going to say in America, girl.
No, I know. Okay. I'm going to get too mad.
They were trying to beat the clock and they were digging up the place where he was living. They were digging up the place where he was in Portugal. And as recently as July of this year, German police were out there with ground penetrating radar in the areas looking for remains. Because if they think if they can find Madeleine's body, that they'll be able to charge him at the very least, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they were not able to do that. And he was released from prison this year, 2025, on September 27th. So just a couple months ago. That's once again, this is why it's in the news again. That's why I'm doing it now. And I think that's like a pretty major update.
Yeah.
And
everyone stay the fuck away from this person.
Yeah, well, he told his cellmates that he planned on leaving the country, receiving extensive plastic surgery to change his appearance and identity. And a court just ruled 2 weeks ago that he did have the legal right to leave the country. The last anyone knows of him, at least the last update I could find, was in October of this year. He was living in motels and mostly homeless. But if he leaves the country and changes his identity and goes somewhere with no extradition laws, that's that. Meanwhile, this literally last week, Kate and Jerry had to go to court to testify about this woman who's stalking them from Poland, who's claiming to be Madeleine, and showed up at their house calling Kate mommy and was writing them letters and harassing them and saying, I'm not going to leave you alone until we get a DNA test. And clearly that she's an unhinged individual.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I would just get the DNA test and be like, look, you're not Madeleine.
I think they just don't. If they did that once, they'd have to do it forever for every whack job. And can you imagine how painful that would be?
No, I know.
So the investigation does remain ongoing with German investigators. Like I said, this guy is also a person of interest in the disappearance of 2 other little kids and also the murder of a 16-year-old girl whose remains were found. And he was in the area at the time. So hopefully something can be found and this family can receive some peace. And I hope the people who spam the comments of every single thing that comes up with this family being like, they clearly did it. They don't feel bad. I can tell they don't feel bad. They killed their kid. Like, I hope you guys really feel like crap because it was pretty insane. And I get it. A lot of the stuff that we hear about, especially big cases like this, you just hear like the headline and you just hear like the drama and the tea, right? But like these are real people who lost their 3-year-old daughter. And like then you've just made their life hell for the last 18 years now. It'll be 19 years in May of 2026. So, yeah.
I mean, we've heard this before, and it's just like to blame someone and ruin their lives even more than it's already ruined because they're grieving the loss or, you know, not knowing what the fuck happened to their own child or their loved one. Like, that's so disgusting. Like, they can't even attempt to move on from this situation because people are blaming them for it.
And that's why I was saying, like, when you were like, why don't they just give them the DNA test? I'm like, because then what? This is their whole life.
It never ends.
Yeah, is just doing DNA tests to prove that like somebody who's mentally unwell from a country they've never even been to is not their daughter. But yeah, I would like, there was a lot of details in there that I did not realize because I thought the same thing. I was like, what do you mean they left their kid alone? And then I realized, oh, this is not.
No, the second you even like described it, I put myself there. I was like, yeah, no, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, right? Like, you've stayed at all-inclusive resorts. Like, imagine you had a kid asleep in your room. You literally had eyes on the sliding glass doors.
Yeah, if you have eyes on the door.
And you're sitting out trying to have dinner with your husband. And, like, wouldn't you be like, that's not neglectful?
No, and it's literally the same thing. Like, I can picture myself on my honeymoon. We were at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica. And from our bedroom to the pool, I would say was 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I would totally, if I had a kid, go to the pool.
Yeah, the kid's finally asleep.
If I could see the door, if I can see literally the sliding glass door to the porch or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was like a patio.
It doesn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah. And I don't think it is. And here's the thing. So in the 60 Minutes thing, they described him as somebody who was like methodical and like a stalker, basically. So here's the thing. People were like, oh, well, that's because you left your kid alone. This person was stalking these people.
Yeah. Seeing what they were doing every night.
Seeing what they were doing. And so no matter what they would have done, no matter what the schedule was, he could have snatched her from the day program.
Yeah.
He could have snatched her from this. He could have just known, well, they go to sleep at this time. I know I can get through this window and snatch her out. Like, yeah, they could have been asleep. That literally
could have happened while they were in the.
They were asleep in the bedroom next door. That could have happened.
100%.
Yeah,
because he came through the window.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because there was a front door, but the front door was always locked. They said they barely even used it because it was loud when it would open and close, and so it would bother the kids. So they were like, we just kept it locked. We always used the sliding glass door on the back. But yeah, so like that, they literally could have been asleep in the next bedroom, and 100%. This could have happened. So people like shaming them and acting like oh, well, I would have never done that. Okay, maybe you never would have done that, but would you put your kid in a day program? What if he showed up and was like, hey, I'm here to pick up Madeleine. Oh, okay, cool, thanks, whatever. And like walked off with her, whatever.
No, the sleeping thing makes the most sense. Like, oh, you go to sleep and the guy comes to the window and you're asleep.
Yeah.
Are you going to shame them then because they were sleeping?
Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know about you, but do you know how many times I've picked up toddlers from a car, from whatever, and moved them, like when I used to babysit, like move them from the couch into their beds. They don't wake up because everyone's like, she would have screamed and then that would have woken them up.
And this is not to blame the parents for doing this, but especially if she was like
had Benadryl or whatever.
Benadryl,
yeah. So that is the story of Madeleine McCann. Obviously, if there are any updates, because like I said, this is like really ramping up in the last couple of years. If there are more updates, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. But I just, because we've mentioned it on the podcast before. I was trying it because I was like, why do I feel like we already covered this?
Yeah, we never have.
The reason we did is because I brought up like 2 years ago on the show that there was a girl claiming to be her.
Yeah,
and we talked about it like very briefly.
I knew that was a thing in the news because I had seen it, obviously.
Yeah, we had like talked about it briefly where I was like, oh, did you hear there's somebody who, she has the same heterochromia, I think it's called. Yeah, heterochromia.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a doozy.
I told you it was a doozy. I was like, sorry. I literally told Amanda, I was like, can you pick me up like 30 minutes later than you were planning on? Because I got in too deep.
I know that feeling. Once you start, you can't stop. I'm also not going to be a ray of sunshine today.
Great. So we get to depress each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I think that's an important story to talk about.
Yeah. And if you're one of those weird people who comments weird stuff on, stop it.
Yeah, just stop it. So, coming off of your horrific story, we're going to go into another one. So today I'm going to talk about the Babbs Switch fire and Mary Edens.
Okay.
So my sources were lostandfoundblogs.com, which was probably my main source. It was very detailed, very, very good blog. OKCfox.com by Adam King, Oklahoman.com by Lily Beth Sanger, genealogytrails.com, and of course, Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Christmas tale because
a bad Christmas tale.
Well, yeah, it's a Christmas tragedy. It's not a happy tale. But our story begins on December 24th, 1924, Christmas Eve, in Babbs Switch, Oklahoma, which is located in Kiowa County. So Babbs Switch is actually like an unincorporated community in the county. So it's not an actual town, but there are like a few dozen people that live here. Yeah,
my brother used to live in unincorporated area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even know what it was until
Oh, really? Yeah.
I had to look it up. I was like, what exactly is an unincorporated community?
Not an official like town or city or whatever.
Yeah. It's just kind of like an area with a name that has a couple dozen people that live there. So very, very, very small community.
Yeah. My brother had his ranch. He was in unincorporated.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So in this extremely small community, there was the one schoolhouse where, you know, kids of different ages would all gather to learn together pretty much. And it is winter in Oklahoma, so it gets very cold. And the weather hadn't been great during this time between it snowing and then there was like a recent windstorm that blew through the area. So because of the bad weather, the schoolhouse had actually just gotten a fresh paint job with turpentine thinner that apparently helps to prevent cracking in like the top coats of the paint.
Yeah.
And they also put in new steel grates, like wire grates, over the windows to ensure that the windows don't get busted in.
I already know where this is going.
Well, yeah, you can kind of tell, but they had to make sure like the windows didn't get broken when another windstorm was going to occur because that's kind of typical for this area. So now the school is ready to rock and roll for the annual Christmas pageant and program event. And this particular Christmas Eve night in 1924, the weather was said to be pretty bad. There was another windstorm, there was snow, but that did not stop the 200 people from packing into this one-room schoolhouse that night.
This is stressing me out already. It's like watching a horror movie and you're like, stop making every wrong decision. Like when you know the ending, you know?
And it gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this schoolhouse was, like I said, it's a 1-room schoolhouse. You can probably picture it. It's 26 by 36 feet. It's very small. And over 200 people start jam-packing themselves into this building. However, even though it was literally stuffed to the brim, the evening started out great. The teacher, Mrs. Florence Terry Hill, she greeted everyone as they entered the building. There was a big Christmas tree lit up with like a bunch of candles all around the front room. Then carols were being sung by the students. I'm assuming maybe some hot chocolate was being had. Everyone was having a great time. And as the night started to come to a close, you know who arrived?
Santa.
Santa. Obviously, he had to come strolling in. So Santa Claus, because this is a pageant put on by the students, was actually played by a student.
Oh, okay.
So this was 16-year-old Dow Bolding.
Cute.
And he was thrilled to be playing the role of Santa that year.
Hello, that's the lead.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, who do you want to be in the Christmas pageant? Santa Claus.
Either Santa or baby Jesus.
Yeah. Maybe Mary.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I don't know if this is a religion thing. This is just a school.
Yeah, it's school. And
so they might not even have, they might not have a nativity set up.
Yeah.
I don't know. They do have Santa, though. So his one job was basically to come in, spread Christmas cheer by handing out all of these gifts that were under the tree and like on the tree to all the children in the school.
What year is this again?
1924.
Okay.
So some of the presents, like I just said, were under the tree. And then other presents were placed on the tree branches, like spread throughout the tree.
Okay, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dow had to kind of like pluck them off the branches and then hand them out to all the kids. And at one point, without realizing it, he leaned down to grab a gift from a branch. And while he's doing that, the branch kind of ended up bending down to the floor because he was like leaning over on it.
Yeah.
And then when it snapped back up, it knocked over one of the candles.
Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah. Within seconds, the entire tree was completely up in flames. Immediately, people start to panic, and some people just start bolting towards the door. And don't forget, this is a 1-room schoolhouse. So there's literally one door to enter and exit through. And it's 1924. So they don't have
before emergency exits.
Yeah, before people realized, oh, maybe we should have like a back exit or something.
That. Yeah.
So all these people start running for the one door, which only opened inward. So they're all panicking so much and they're crowding the space so much that they can only manage to get the door open like just a crack to get one person through at a time.
Yeah, because people are literally forcing it closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why they say don't panic because you're just making it worse.
And that's the problem. Is like when there's that many people in a small space, no one can calm down. Like you can't calm every single person down enough to be like, hey, if everyone calms down, we can open the door. No, that's not going to happen. There's too many people crammed in a small space. So while a bunch of these people are now trying to escape, others were trying to help extinguish the fire by trying to smother it with their coats.
Okay.
But while they were doing that, they ended up knocking the whole tree over, which made the fire spread even faster. And now the entire building is up in smoke.
Yeah.
So once again, it's literally one thing after another just going wrong.
Yeah. And all the fucking windows are barred and yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So like you just said, the windows, people now inside the building are like, okay, well, if we break open the windows, we can shove like kids or people out those windows. But they just installed these wire grates on the windows. So the glass of the window was able to be broken, but no one could get out because of those steel wires.
And then guess what they did? I'm sure this is what you're about to say next. All it did was feed oxygen to the fire.
That's exactly what I'm about to say.
Yep.
So the wind that was blowing in.
Sorry, I don't even know this case. I just know a lot about fire safety.
Well, I mean, it just
Yeah.
makes sense, right? Because like I said, there was a windstorm outside.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind is blowing in through these windows and this is causing the flames to just intensify even more.
Well, that's one of the reasons they say, like, even if you think there's a house on fire and you want to go in and try and save like a pet or a memory or a person or whatever, they tell you not to open any doors or break any windows because you might actually feed the fire.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
And then the firemen won't be able to get in, right? They're like, if you get out, stay out. Like, obviously we love to hear the heroic stories that end well, but unfortunately most of them don't end well because the second you open that door, it causes like a backdraft and it literally makes everything. And then the firefighters can't even go in, where otherwise the firefighters would have been able to go in and, maybe potentially save that person.
Also, isn't it like we always thought that like you could get the fire out by doing this with your coat, like fanning it?
So fanning the flames, I would say is a saying because historically it just means making them rise.
Yeah, but people think that they're putting it out, but they're really
because they think it's like blowing out a candle.
Yeah.
But you can cover a flame, but the thing is you would just want it to have less and less oxygen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just fire safety is a really important thing to know about. So don't open doors and windows if you're in a fire and emergency unless you are leaving the place. If you are trying to get back in, do not do it. Wait for the firefighters to come and do it because you will most likely end up causing more harm than good.
Did you ever go through one of those fire truck things?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those were
where they would like pump in the fake smoke and you would like have to crawl through.
And you had to crawl through and it was like a pretend house, but it was just like a big truck. So like obviously only kids could fit through it. It was like for kids.
Yeah.
But like
they like came to our elementary school, I think.
Yeah, and you had to go through it. And I was like, this is the scariest thing. I'm like 8 years old trying to go through this thing and I'm going, this is so scary.
The way I was like, this is fucking awesome.
I knew you would.
This is the best day of my life.
See, I'm thinking this is the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like, why are you making me do this?
Yeah, I was just always an obstacle course girly. And to me, I'm like, how do I win this?
How do I get out?
I just mean like, how do I win? Like, how do I do it the best way?
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You've seen me on an obstacle course.
Girl, yes, I have. And you won.
Parts of me get unlocked that should stay hidden.
You should keep that down there. Yeah. It's scary.
That's why I told you I'm not allowed to be competitive anymore. I've lost my rights.
And I think that's fair for everybody involved. Okay, so back to this horrific event.
I was like trying to give myself a commercial break there.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So as you can imagine, everyone is screaming. Everyone is running around. In the process of people trying to escape through the one door, now some people end up getting trampled to death.
Yes.
Dow, the kid that was Santa Claus that night, he ended up getting completely engulfed in flames right in front of his mother's eyes.
Oh my God.
She literally
was so excited to be. That literally makes me so upset.
No, I know.
He was so excited to be Santa.
So upsetting. She even said, like, she told the press, she was like, I went to try to like fan the flames with my jacket, and in that process like watched her son, because he was standing next to the tree, catch on fire, and there was nothing she could do. So she unfortunately could not save Dow that night. She did end up escaping with her younger son Eugene, and then she said when she got to the porch she ended up fainting, and the only reason she even came to was because she was getting trampled on.
Oh my God.
Like this is so, like, don't try to put yourself in this situation, because I was doing that like while I was reading it, and I was like,
you should try to put yourself. If we're going to tell this story, you should put yourself in the situation, because if anything, like, they had to live it. All we have to do is hear it.
I know, it's so traumatic. The fire keeps growing and growing, and eventually, due to the turpentine thinner on the paint outside, apparently this is extremely flammable.
Yes, it is.
The whole building was soon completely just like up in smoke and flames. Everyone that was lucky enough to get out had to watch as the building burned down, and they could hear the screams of all of their friends and loved ones inside. People that were inside, like some of the people were entire families, like mother, father, and all their kids.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I have to say it, but after everything and like people were searching for people, a specific family was found, all linked together by their arms.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So now there's people that are injured, right? So, and they're outside the building, and they need to get medical attention as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the closest hospital was in Hobart, which was like a few miles away. And once again, just another series of unfortunate events here. people had actually drained their radiators on their cars before they went into the schoolhouse because it was so cold that night.
They didn't want it to freeze.
And they needed to make sure their cars wouldn't freeze while they were in the program. But because they're all in such a fucking tizzy and in a hurry to get to the hospital, they forgot to fill them back up. So as they're driving to the hospital, some of their cars would overheat on the way to the hospital, and that set them back even more. And they had to stop like at people's houses to fill it up. Like it was literally just a nightmare. Literally everything bad that could happen is literally happening.
Yeah.
But 37 of the survivors that were injured did make it to the hospital to get cared for. But 32 people inside the schoolhouse that night did die, including Dow, who played Santa Claus, and the school teacher, Mrs. Hill. 4 more people died from their injuries and from smoke inhalation a few days later.
Yeah, because turpentine also like is super toxic. So like the smoke coming off it was like horrific, I'm sure.
Yes. But like, I mean, it's the fucking 20s, you know what I mean? Like people...
No, I know.
People
Sorry.
were just painting with anything at that point.
I'm just getting mad because like we're living under in America currently. We're living under an administration that wants to repeal all regulations that like were specifically put in place because of events like this to make these things not happen. Like with our food regulation, with our fire regulation, all this stuff, and they like are repealing a lot of that stuff. Like, and these are the stories of why we need regulation on stuff, or why there's laws and why there's regulation on what you can paint in a school, why you need like fire exits. It's almost too relevant.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, this is the 1920s. Like,
yeah, like you said, you're like, it's 1920s, so they don't know. And I'm like, that's literally, but it's happening again.
Yeah.
And so like, that's why it's so frustrating, like hearing this story. Cause I'm like, we learned nothing. Or maybe it's not, we learned nothing. We forgot everything is the issue. We forgot everything.
And what's even more messed up, like in this scenario, was that apparently 2 of the previous like Christmas Eve events in years past, the same thing had happened with the tree catching fire.
Okay.
But obviously in those cases, they were able to contain it. They were able to put out the fire without anyone getting hurt. But clearly like this building was so small. It's literally made out of wood and it's not equipped for all of these people. And why the fuck are we having burning candles all over the floor like that?
Yeah.
If we have all of these, this is a fire hazard to have all those people in the building in the first place.
No, yeah.
Why are we having burning candles on the floor?
No, I agree.
This could have been prevented. If a tree had gone up in flames in previous years, let's not have burning candles on the floor.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just did this to you. So.
I know. I was going to say, you just told me a fucking horrible story too. So
yeah.
Okay, but now we have to talk about another part of this story that involves 3-year-old Mary Elizabeth Edens.
Oh God, okay.
And I don't know how we did this, but like there's similarities between this and your story, and I don't know how that happened.
Okay.
But during the Christmas program, she had been sitting on her Aunt Alice's lap, and when the fire broke out and everyone starts freaking out, obviously, Aunt Alice ends up handing Mary to someone that was trying to get one of the windows open. Because she's like, okay.
Throw her out first.
Yeah, she's like, this is the best chance I have to save Mary. Like, she's 3. Like, we can just fucking chuck her out the window and she'll be fine. So she hands her off to someone that she sees, like, getting the windows open. And then, which apparently there was one window that they were able to kind of like pry it open just enough to get like smaller people out. So she hands Mary off and then she ends up making her way out of the building somehow. But when she gets out and she's like looking around for Mary and she can't find her, she assumes the worst. She's like, she got stuck in there and I let my niece die in the fire. But then during the aftermath, like the building burns down, they look around, they see, they are able to like identify most bodies, most of the people kind of thing. And Mary's body is not found. They're like, okay, well, maybe she made it out. But if she made it out and she's not anywhere to be found, then
who has her?
Obviously someone took her, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the person who she handed Mary off to, or someone who helped her out of the window has her, right?
But it's like a small town, so it's like, hello.
Yeah, like you would know.
Yeah.
And even more, unfortunately, no one was able to ask Alice exactly who she handed Mary off to because she was one of those 4 people who passed away due to smoke inhalation.
That's so much worse.
So now there was no body, and everyone in town, including Mary's parents, Louis and Ethel Edens, they're all coming together to search for Mary, obviously high and low. But days turned into months, that turned into years, and Mary Edens was never found. Every year, the newspaper would run articles during like the anniversary of the Babbs Switch fire because, by the way, this is like the 6th biggest school fire in history.
Oh, okay. So it's like, yeah, this
was like a big deal.
Historical. Yeah.
And all of these articles would always, pop up every single year, and they would always include the missing Mary Edens because she was the only person that was never accounted for. So the articles ended up getting picked up by like more newspapers. So more and more people around the area and then around the whole state and then eventually kind of just like around the country started learning about Mary Edens who went missing that night. In 1956, so years later, the Daily Oklahoman paper publishes an article with the headline, "Is Mary Edens Still Living?" And somehow this article makes its way all the way to San Bernardino, California. And there is a man named Elmont Place, and he is living in San Bernardino. He's an accountant, and he's reading this paper, and he's like thinking, he's like, this is weird. I have a client who he's like good friends with, and her name is Grace Reynolds. And Elmont and Grace would often talk about how Grace feels like she doesn't fit in with her family. She feels like they're not her real parents, but she can't, she's like, I don't know. Like there's just something here that doesn't feel right. Like I don't fit in with them. And she would always confide in Elmont about this. And so he's thinking about it and he's like, this is weird. And he's like, Mary Edens, like when she went missing, the timeline is
would have
adding
been
up.
The right age.
This would have been the exact right age that Grace is today. Like this is kind of crazy. So he ends up writing to an acquaintance that he has in Oklahoma about his friend Grace. And he's like, I don't know, maybe she could be the missing Mary Edens. It could be the same person. And then he ends up bringing the paper to Grace. And she's like, you know what? This makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Because I don't remember anything before I was like 6, really. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like I just had this gut feeling that like my family is not my family.
Yeah,
like
I
don't
fit in
with them. So then they write to Mary Eden's sister, Betty. And Betty, she sends back photos of Mary, like obviously when she was like a baby because she went missing at 3.
Yeah.
But when she sends back the photo, she says, please do not contact my parents about this because they have had a really hard time. They're grieving someone that just recently came forward saying they were married.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I said, very similar to the Madeleine McCann. But they thought this girl was Mary, and then they had a blood test that ruled out the possibility of that because obviously there's not DNA testing. And
they would do blood type testing.
They would do blood type testing, yeah. So that they thought this person was Mary. Turned out it was not, and they are grieving that loss again, which has happened a few times over the years. And Betty was like, I really need to protect.
Which once again, that's why I'm like, yeah, that's why her parents, and like nowadays I'm like, if I was the McCanns, I would be like, here's a fucking quart of my blood.
Yep.
Just keep it on file. If people come forward,
you let
test
me know.
it, and if it's ever positive, then you let me know.
Honestly,
otherwise,
yeah.
Don't even fucking talk to me.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Don't talk to me. Here it is. Mouth swab, whatever the fuck you need, and then I'll go away forever.
Yeah. Like unless it's a match, don't fucking contact me.
Don't even bother.
Yeah. So this situation had happened to the Edens multiple times already where they were like all excited. Maybe this is my daughter. She's back. She's here. And then it gets stripped away from them again.
Yeah, no good.
And it's just reliving the loss of your daughter over and over and over again, which is just like, once again, it's so crazy that we both did this these stories because I'm like, this
is
just Madeleine McCann.
We do this all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
But Grace ends up doing a blood test, and it ends up coming back as an exact match with the entire Edens family. Like literally her blood type matches the mom, the dad, and the sister, like to a T. And on top of that, Grace allegedly had the same exact scar on her foot that Mary Edens was said to have.
So that's a big one, yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
And it's the 1950s, so they don't really have anything else that they can go on at this point.
Yeah, and it's like she didn't even have her adult teeth. She's still baby teeth and stuff. So you can't even go by dental records or anything like that. Yeah.
So they give this information to Betty, the sister, and she's like, okay, the blood test and the scar, like, this is pretty legit. So she's like, I'm pretty convinced that you're probably my sister. You're Mary. So on February 10th, 1957, Grace, Lewis, Ethel, and Betty had an on-air reunion on Art Linkletter's House Party TV show.
Oh, of course. It always comes back to Art.
Has to be. And immediately, Lewis and Ethel accepted Grace as their daughter, and they were so excited. Like, they were like, this is finally it. Like, everything is matching up. Like, you are my daughter. She's back. But then, a woman named Dorothy Link sees an article about the newly discovered Mary Elizabeth Edens, and she sees a picture of Grace with the Edens family. And she happens to be Grace's sister that she grew up with.
Okay.
So the Stockton Record newspaper ends up getting a notarized statement from Grace's mother that says, and I quote, Grace Leona Reynolds is my lawful daughter. She was born on July 11th, 1921 on a farm near Cotton Plant, Arkansas. And she's basically saying to this newspaper, like, no, like, I birthed her out of my body. I know that's Grace. I know that's my daughter. And the sister is both. She has two sisters. They're like, no, we grew up with her. Like, she's lying. She's a liar. So allegedly, Grace had been estranged from her family for many years, like a decade. She had told a lot of people that she had known even before she stopped talking to her family that she had no family. Dorothy and Grace had a lot of issues with each other. Grace married Dorothy's ex-husband after they got divorced. So it seems like Dorothy really didn't like Grace.
Yeah, rough choice there.
So there's like a lot of animosity in this family with each other. And so I think that kind of played a part in her ultimately like wanting to blow up Grace's spot when she saw the picture. She was like, well, fuck you. I already don't like you.
Yeah.
Like you suck.
Yeah.
But on top of that, by Grace saying, you know, I'm actually Mary Elizabeth Edens, this girl that went missing from a fire in 1924, she's also saying that their mother is a kidnapper now.
Yeah.
So Dorothy's like,
yeah, because I was going to say, if she has a baby, like, if you have a baby that's not your baby, hello, you're implicating some people
exactly.
here.
So Dorothy's fucking pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, now you're fucking saying our mother kidnapped you when you were a baby. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So that's why she literally was like, I'm going to tell who you really are because that's really messed up. Her other sister also came forward and said that she would really like to punch Grace in the nose because she just is ruining the family's life, basically. So just a lot of tension, a lot of problems in this family. So this information now ends up in the hands of a man named Ransom Hancock, who was a journalist, and he happened to also be a friend of Lewis Edens, Mary's dad.
Okay.
So he goes to Lewis and he's like, hey, I have this information about Grace who's claiming to be your daughter. I think she might be an imposter. Like she's faking this. And at this point, and I really want to...
I mean, we don't know if she's faking. She might genuinely think that this is true.
She definitely might think that.
Because I'm going to say, like, there's a difference between someone who like genuinely thinks that it's true and the blood test proves it. And then you're like, okay, oh my God, my feelings my whole life.
Yeah. And the thing
that obviously a family that she does not get along with.
No, and she does not like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks is that like the blood test obviously is not a very good.
Yeah, because it's not DNA, it's just blood type.
Yeah. And I really want to get your thoughts on the rest of this because you'll see.
Okay.
So at this point, Lewis's main concern is his wife, Ethel. And he's like, there's no way I can put my wife through this again. Like, she has already lost Mary once, twice, 3, 4, you know, like this is, I can't do this to her again. We've been going through this for so long. She's so happy right now. Everything is lining up that Grace seems to be Mary. So I can't let her know the truth. I can't let her find out that Grace is not Mary.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever, just leave her. Who cares? Who cares if it's actually a real daughter? If it brings you peace and it brings her peace, whatever.
So he asks Hancock to not print the story, and Hancock is like, you got it. I won't run this story.
Good for him.
So Ethel Edens lives the rest of her life believing that Grace Reynolds was her daughter, and Lewis Edens just like went along with it, even though the whole time he knew the truth.
The truth, quote unquote. We don't know. These people also could be lying because they're covering up for committing a crime.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But by all this is so tricky, right? Because it's like, it was so long ago, so we don't have the proper DNA testing, so we don't actually know the truth.
Yeah, and also a notarized letter that she was born on a farm and nobody was there except for the other people who would benefit from lying, and a bunch of kids that their mom told, yeah, you grew up with her. Remember, you grew up with her.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm just saying.
Like, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know the truth. It literally could be anything.
Well, that's why when you're saying, like, living a lie or knows the truth. No, he didn't. Nobody knows the truth.
Yeah.
Both of these people are just as unreliable. Why not?
Well, so Ethel lives the rest of her life thinking Grace is her daughter, right?
Yeah.
Grace lives the rest of her life thinking she's Mary. Lewis lives the rest of his life thinking that Grace is not Mary, but he's just pretending that she is. So it's like, this is a whole like,
yeah,
weird situation.
Yes.
But years later, Lewis and Ethel, they both pass away. And on the 75th anniversary of the Babbs Switch fire, Ransom Hancock's son, Joe, who has now taken over the paper because his dad died, runs that story in the paper.
Okay.
About Grace being an imposter.
Okay.
So now everyone, thinks Grace is an imposter. She continued to never waver from what she believed. She insisted, like, no, I am Mary Edens. Like, you can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
And she ends up writing a book called Mary, Child of Tragedy, all about her life and, the tragedy and what happened. And she lived out the rest of her life as Mary Edens until she died in 2008.
And they never got a blood test?
Nope. So no one ever figured out the real truth. So we have no idea if she was Mary Edens. We have no idea if Mary Edens is still missing and was never located.
I don't think it matters.
I mean,
and is that a bad opinion? I don't think it matters. Seems like it brought people who were lonely and sad. It brought them some peace and joy in their life. I don't think it really matters.
I don't think it matters either.
I'm interested because I'm nosy.
Yeah,
but I'm saying for these personal people, I don't think it matters. Clearly, for
Ethel, I don't think it matters,
and for Mary, quote unquote,
yeah. But my only thing would be like, okay, maybe for Grace's family, if that is her real family, then it would matter for them.
Yeah, that would annoy me. Like if I was her mom and I'm like, I fucking pushed you out of my vagina.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That would be annoying.
Yeah.
But like also whatever, you guys weren't in contact for 10 years.
Yeah. And like she clearly didn't want to be in the family.
Yeah. Let sleeping dogs lie. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it matters. And I do think they should have gotten a DNA test. She lived till 2008.
No, I agree.
But also just like immediately believing.
But also it could matter though if Grace's mom is being looked at like a kidnapper and she's not. Like that also is kind of like, okay.
Yeah, but like nothing ever happened. The police never came and investigated.
But that's why I'm like, this is just so like weird and bizarre and like what.
But also
what
just like
the truth.
Oh, I got a notarized letter. Okay, you notarized something that you wrote. You went to the post office and got a like what? That's not. Show me pictures of the baby coming out of your vagina, and then I'll believe you.
Yeah,
or
that's fair.
Show me DNA. You can do it. Exhume the body if you're that worried. If you're that worried about your family lineage, I bet you could get a court order to exhume a body and get some DNA test or something happening here.
I mean, at this point, once everyone is dead, I feel like it doesn't.
Yeah,
it definitely doesn't matter anymore.
But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Why would I believe this family who said, oh, she was born not in a hospital?
No, absolutely. They could also be lying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know the truth, and that's what's so like insane. Like we don't know. There's so many different things that could be true and could be false that it's like, what is the fucking truth? And yeah, I'm just nosy, so I want to know the truth.
Yeah, I'm nosy. But that's why I was like, but it
really doesn't matter.
You're using words like fraud or whatever, all that
well,
stuff.
that's what they said imposter.
Imposter. Okay. But according to who?
Yeah.
This mom who hasn't talked to her own daughter for 10 years.
And they called her an imposter in the paper.
Yeah.
I believe.
So I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I say who cares?
No, I agree.
Seems like it brought some peace to somebody who suffered unimaginable
Yeah. And that
pain.
night in general was so traumatic.
Already so insane.
And they had to live the rest, like all of these people that survived that night had to live the rest of their lives with this fucking horrific event that happened to them. So if you can give someone just a little bit of peace in the rest of their days, then.
And it gave whether or not she's fake or whatever, Grace, it gave her peace and a sense of belonging in her life where she clearly didn't have it.
You're right. And she felt like she had parents.
Let's be honest,
for a couple years.
The kid most likely died. Okay, I'm gonna like just Occam's razor that.
Yeah.
But if this happened, if this is true, even the glimmer of hope of that, just let people have it.
No, I agree.
Let people have it.
I agree.
Who cares? It's not hurting anybody. It'd be one thing if like the mom got arrested for kidnapping or something. Like that would be one thing. I'd be like, yeah, you got to figure it out because like that's not fair. But like there was no ill consequences on that family other than they just already didn't like their sister and now they want to make sure she doesn't find a little bit of joy. Whatever.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on that.
No, I do. It's just one of those ones that I'm like, ugh, like,
yeah,
I just wish we knew the truth because it would suck if someone's getting, you know, just like the Madeleine McCann. Like, we believe that her parents were not involved. Unfortunately, we don't have an answer. So that's why people are blaming them because we don't have a fucking answer. And now their lives are getting ruined. So it just sucks to have anyone's life get ruined.
And I'm saying nobody's life was ruined here.
Well, I mean,
people's lives were made better. So that's why I'm like, once again, that's why I said like if the mom got like investigated for fraud or for stealing a baby or the whatever, that would be this would be. I think it was
probably just a reputation thing.
It brought peace to this woman who suffered unimaginable pain.
Well, they're all gone now,
and also brought peace to Mary herself. And you know what? Good on you. I say more of that. If
all right, you heard it here, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my opinion. You said you wanted my opinion.
No, I did. I did want your opinion. Absolutely. But that was the horrific Babbs Switch fire and the disappearance ? Of Mary Edens.
It's crazy how back in the day like that, like we hear so many things about tragedies like that. We're just like, okay. And then people are like, come up years later and like, maybe me. Like that happened. Like this is not it's not like common, but it's also not like an unheard of type of story.
Well, how many stories have we told? Bobby Dunbar or you know, all the other people that are like, I think I'm this person. And and unfortunately, before the 90s or the 80s or whenever DNA came about
and was reliable,
you literally didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
I
say good on you. I'm happy those two ladies got a little bit of peace in their lifetime.
Yeah, if they had a little bit of fun together and got to be mother and daughter for a couple years before they both died,
good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah. Well, how about we finish this with a listener story?
Let's do that. Is it a happy one?
I don't know. I have not listened to it.
Okay.
So this is from Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
And Kaylee says, hi, Cassidy and Amanda. I'm a long-time listener, but this is my first time writing in. I wanted to share a scary story about one of your earlier episodes on Israel. How does this always happen that it's a true crime story?
This is the true crime holiday special.
I grew up in Anchorage, actually lived less than half a mile from where Israel was living when he killed Samantha Koenig. After knowing everything Israel was up to in Anchorage, I feel so lucky my siblings were all safe. During one of the interviews the FBI had with Israel, he mentioned a time he almost killed a couple in Anchorage. He was riding his bike at a viewpoint in a park my brother frequented often with his girlfriend. Israel mentioned a police officer went up to the couple to tell them the park was closed, and Israel planned to shoot them all with his silenced rifle. He said he, quote, almost pulled the trigger even with the cop right there. That's what Keyes told investigators. Another officer soon arrived, spoiling his plans. As soon as his backup showed up, I decided I better call it a night and got back on my bike and took off.
Oh my God.
This later came out in the newspaper. When my mom read this aloud, my brother's jaw dropped. That was 100% him and his girlfriend.
I just got chills.
He mentioned a police officer interrupted their makeout session, LOL, and he had this eerie feeling the whole night. To this day, there's an odd feeling when you walk past Israel's house. The current owners are leaning into the spookiness with those large skeletons on their front yard. Every now and then, I think back to when Samantha was abducted, and I feel so sad for the loved ones that were affected from him and his actions. I feel so lucky that my brother was safe that night. Thanks so much for reading. I absolutely love the podcast. If you ever want to make a trip up to Alaska, please let me know. Thank you for all the laughs, conspiracy theories, and fun. If you want to read an article about this, you can check it out here. And she sent an article about the time Israel Keys nearly shot a couple and an officer at point blank.
Oh my God.
You guys know I'm Israel Keys. I'm obsessed with Israel Keys, not in like the fangirl way, but because I'm so scared of him. Like he scares me so bad. And so that is so crazy. I'm so glad your brother and his girlfriend are safe and unharmed.
Actually fucking insane.
Those like near miss stories. There's on what's that? Radio Rental on the first season. I know we don't listen to that show anymore because what's his name sucks, but on the first season of Radio Rental, there's an episode about the Baseline Rapist, which is where I'm from. It happened on Baseline in Arizona. And there's like a woman who he was at her door or at her window, like trying to get in, and she caught him. And like those like near misses with serial killers scare me so
well,
bad.
It's like what was the one with like Richard Ramirez when he like was trying to get into a house, but then a dog barked and he left?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or like the Sacramento Vampire when he would just try to see if any door was unlocked.
Yeah.
Ugh, it gives me the
no.
heebie-jeebies.
No, I literally had chills when Kaylee was saying that was her brother.
Yeah. I actually recently found this woman on TikTok who her family grew up with Israel Keys' family, and she's been talking about it. It's like just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Because he's so fascinating because he doesn't fit into any of the regular stuff. Like he just seems like he was born evil.
And sometimes
I don't believe in that. You know what I mean?
I do. I believe in it. I do.
But anyway, thank you for sending that in, Kaylee. I'm so glad that your family is safe. And if you have a story like this, you can send that in at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also find our Patreon, our social media, our merch, all that good fun stuff on there. So thank you guys so much for listening. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.